RK's Guyana Free Media presents for human development and national development this message. Dearest, beloved, divine friends and family, brothers and sisters around the world, and in Guyana, may the peace, mercies, and the blessings of God be with one and all. Om Shanti, Salamu Alaikum. A very good day to you. Namaste, as I bow to the God in you, and let's keep it that way so that no unnecessary embracing for the problem that we are having, the pandemic. And please remember to use your sanitizers. Here I am using Environ sanitizing cleaner. I've observed some places are price gouging. I was by camp by Middle Street this morning, today Wednesday, and I observed that they were selling it for $1,800, even though GRA has withdrawn all taxes. Other places like Survival and DSL stores, Matais are selling it for between $1,000 to $1,100. How can a pharmacy, where I was this morning, by Middle and East Street, sell this thing for $1,800? It's called price gouging. It's dishonest, it's despicable, it's wrong, it's deceitful. We should have some serious laws for black marketing, and or the proper name is price gouging. And the Department of Health, in league with the GRA or the police, they need to move down in some of these places to spot check and see what's happening. And let's have a name and shame and even charges for people who are price gouging any item to Guyanese people. Friends and families, this morning, today, this afternoon, good night as the case may be, as you look at this presentation, elections update 2020-31, part 31. And so these are not my views, these are views are written by people, and at certain times I might make a comment. But these are completely independent views by independent persons. One here is coming from Dr. Asquith Rose, the Moses Nagamootoo. And another one is by Freddie Kissoon. And so I would like to dilate on these two aspects of the elections 2020. Please pay attention if you like on this watch party, or as you view individually, share so that other people might get the viewpoint to know what is taking place. Why is the RK's Guyana Free Media doing this? It's because some people don't get the newspapers. Some people don't know how to get into the website, and because some people are far away, and this is one of the best way through social media to catch the bulk of persons and give them the understanding and the knowledge as to what is taking place. Friends and families, breaking news, letter from Dr. Asquith Rose to Moses Nagamootoo. Dear Moses, you have done it again with your foolish statement to quarantine the international observers. It is a ploy to delay the recounting of the votes and steal the elections. I thought that you were a man of principle, but apparently you were not. This remains true today. The same way you believe in the quarantine laws, you should also believe in the Constitution. The Constitution states that elections results shall be declared 15 days after the election is held. It is more than 40 days since the elections and you have not said a word. Why are you silent? Asquith Rose continues to say, the only reason is that you are only interested in power for yourself, which is selfish, narcissistic and pitiful. This leads me to believe that when you said you fought Burnham for democracy and fair and free elections, you were lying. What you fought for was the power for yourself, just as you are doing now. But you will not get it. According to Asquith Rose, Dr. Asquith Rose. If you do not know, then let me tell you, your political career is not only in shambles, it is disgraceful and it has ended. You are becoming the most hated person in the country and in the diaspora. Anywhere you go, you will be picketed. Your silly actions have made it difficult for you to venture into the public after your political career is over. You were dishonest then, and you are dishonest now. If according to you, APNU has won the elections, then you should be happy to have the votes recounted swiftly. But you continue to put obstacles in the way of the recount. You are doing a disservice to the people and the country. You're hated in the quarantine, including Wim Village, where you were born, and you know it. That was the reason you could not have campaigned on the quarantine. It is shameful what you are doing to this country. You're holding an entire nation hostage for your personal political ambitions. Moses, you're over 70 years of age. It's time to exit the political scene. For the past 5 years, you were clueless as to the development of the country. Granger, well, I have a policy and my commentary. I do not refer to the Granger as Granger. He is acting president in view of the elections, and so he's still entitled to be called Excellency and President. And personally, I am a man who likes President David Arthur Granger. And so this time, her word is Granger, but I'm saying President David Arthur Granger relegated you to be the Prime Minister of the Chronicle newspapers because he did not trust you, and he realized that you are visionless and has little competence. That is why he placed Harmon over you. To say the things you are saying and to act them out is nothing but ghetto behavior. Shame on you, Moses. Your deceit and your lust for power have left me no choice but to end our friendship. I'm a principled person who has put the country first, but you are not. Looking back, I believe that all you have said in the past about the PNC and the rigging elections and the PPP were to enhance your political ambitions. And I repeat that. I believe that all that you have said in the past about the PNC and rigging elections was for the PPP to enhance your political ambitions. You were not concerned about the poor people of this country, but only Moses. Now it has ended. I'll be writing a series of letters in the papers against your shaggy behavior. This letter was published in social media and almost all the newspapers in Guyana, including Guyana Times, the Chronicle, not the Chronicles, I beg your pardon, the Starbuck News, and the Kaicho News. And this is signed by a person, the doctor, knowing Moses, and she writes Moses, he put the name as Euclid, E-U-C-L-I-D. So it's Euclid Asquith Rose. God bless her, and this is, I'm not putting any spin to this, it speaks for itself. And some of you may share the view, some of you may not. In this country, we still have what we believe is a democracy, and people have a right to their views. And now we are moving on to Kaichor News, April 22nd, 2020. Yes, Freddie Kissel's article is published in the Kaichor News of today, April 22nd, Wednesday 2020. Guerrilla warfare inside the PNC intensifies. You know what I always, my commentary, what I always find is amazing with some reporters and personalities, this is taken from the Kaichor News, is that these guys have ways of getting information. It is amazing how information are likely to reach these guys, and yours truly too. Sometimes things are discussed in cabinet, and I pick it up. Me, I have, that's one of my forte. Sometimes things are discussed in the most secluded of places, and I know. It is just something that I'm born with, and some people have that. I think Freddie Kissel have a lot of connections, and a lot of people who appreciate him and like him. Yes, he's a guy generally, Freddie Kissel, that some of us love to hate, and some of us love to love. And sometimes we hate him and we love him. Sometimes it's a hate-love relationship. For me, I'm open. I think the man is an intellectual, and he's an excellent commentator, and he does not have a political priority. He speaks the truth. Guerrilla warfare inside the PNC intensifies, and I find this very interesting because I have many friends in the PNC. I have been friends with the PNC since the time of Hugh Desmond Hoyt, my friend and president Hugh Desmond Hoyt. And so when I see things about the PNC, it always excites and intrigues me. He's saying that there's guerrilla warfare inside the PNC, but this is not anything new. You always have this guerrilla warfare or internecine internal quarrels and fights for power and so on. The PPP have had their share. We have seen this when the vote were being put in place, who would be the presidential candidate of the PPP, who would be the general secretary of the PPP, and so on and so on. And this is why Nagamootoo came out and Moses came out, Moses Nagamootoo and Ranjatan and so on, because they were not getting the leadership. So this is nothing new. So I'm not hereby attacking the People's National Congress. Like I said, I have many friends of the People's National Congress. And you know what? I always will. Guerrilla warfare inside the PNC intensifies. By Freddie Kissel. I am not going to allow our autocrats in the PNC and AFC to sue me. I'm familiar with the saying of the older folks whom I grew up with in front of in Wortmanville. It goes like this: I'm too old to climb court step. There are internecine factional energies bursting out inside the PNC. PNC for People's National Congress. One cabal is led by the Bai Shan Lin Man, hereafter referred to as LHT. The other factions consist of David Granger, President David Granger, even though he's caretaker and he's holding, I would say, President David Arthur Granger, Excellency, and the group loyal to him. Interestingly, these two compartments have no use for the AFC except for a strong AFC man who has a violent conspiratorial side to him. I know this from my sensitive, risky research into the Buxton troubles. The AFC mandarins are not consulted on the intrigues. Mandarins mean like the supporters and ordinary middle management are not being consulted. I know this, the AFC mandarins, supporters or middle management are not consulted on the intrigues that are taking place to continue the rigging of the 2020 elections. They have been reduced to the role of psychopaths, as witnessed by the AFC's column in Kaicho News last Sunday. According to Freddie Kissel, from now until the rigging stops and the world sees that the APNU and AFC lost the elections, the AFC will confine itself to parroting the sermons of the PNC and its insane fanatics that the APNU and AFC won the election. There is sufficient evidence to point the analysts in the direction of a power struggle inside the PNC. Granger openly defied Harman and told the world that his government did not enter into contract with a PR firm in the US. My sources told me Granger did not know about the arrangement with the LLB people and was not even told about it and did not even see the dossier. Dossier is the file, for those who don't understand the word dossier. I trust my source, who is very high up in the PNC ladder. And it is true, our conversation, I was asked to make reference to Granger, President Granger, not knowing about LLB. In my column yesterday, I criticized Granger for his attitude to the LLB thing. I still hold to my assessment. If he did not know, he should have leveled with the nation and admit that he did not know. He would have saved his credibility. Secondly, I've been reliably informed that President David Granger, acting president, is in a mood where he has become implacable, not easy to approach, very firm, mixed with a bit of confusion. Back to the point, back to the article. This relates to the identification of him as a U.S. citizen. From the time those words in reference to him being a U.S. citizen hit the airwaves, Granger anger, President David Arthur Granger anger has boiled over. It is this issue that has led to the intensification of the guerrilla warfare that has broken out inside the PNC, since Granger contacted the Barbadian PM to witness the recounting of the ballots. My sources tell me that President Granger is becoming a lonely man inside the corridor of power, because his chagrin is running deeply and there isn't a group of strong PNC mandarins or supporters backing him. Before we move on to the actual guerrilla tactics playing out, there is the second piece of evidence that Granger is fighting back. The president told his subordinates that he was embarrassed that his government wanted the CARICOM team and foreign observers to be quarantined. I was told that CARICOM officials and some envoys based in Guyana contacted the president and said that such an edict was personally insulting. Mr. Granger was understanding and agreed to remove that city instruction that was given by de facto Prime Minister Moses Nagamootoo. Friends and families, I discussed this, my commentary, a bit earlier. Very simple and exactly what they're going to do. I don't know why the former Prime Minister say these things and do these things. Why is this gentleman, Moses Nagamootoo, that we have grown up in the quarantine respecting and looking to him as an iconic personality, a teacher, educator, that he would say such things to try to disaffect the count, to create delay and fear, and even to say that they will be quarantined at a government installation. You know, I keep on saying, friends and families, politics make fools of very wise men. Politics destroy the human conscience. I don't know what is happening with this gentleman, my fellow quarantine citizen. So the silly instruction from Moses was eliminated by the president. Now, this is embarrassing, my commentary. It is embarrassing. You have to think what you will do. It's like the lowing field thing. He said, and he's saying so, Commissioner Ben is not saying so, that Commissioner Ben suggested 2 persons per table of count of the votes, which means 3. I mean, he didn't know that people are going to complain with the DNA and the makeup of Guyanese citizen and so on, that he has another alternative, like 10 or 15 or 20 at one time. Goodness. Now, back to the article. So what is going to happen now? There is a whistleblower or whistleblowers inside the PNC that are feeding information to the media about high and brazen corruption in the gang led by the Eschete faction fighting Granger. There is an operation taking place up far in the East Coast, where one of Granger's President Granger's detractors in the PNC is the owner. I repeat, where one of Granger's detractors in the PNC is the owner. The front man is a close relative with a Portuguese last name. This is corruption on a huge scale, according to Freddie Kissel. I was on the Naim Chan morning show on Channel 6 just before the March 2nd poll, when someone called, informed me about the operation and asked me to visit the site. I did. That is an investment that involves hundreds of millions of dollars. So I know about this thing before. I was contacted yesterday about it. I think Naim Chan too knows about it, but I cannot speak for him. We in the media know about it. We in the media know about the mansion in Florida. And some people, my commentary, are saying mansions in Florida. From all that I'm seeing and hearing, I believe Mr. Granger wants the election mess over and done with. My commentary. You know, I keep on saying Granger is a good man. He might have his military and political tact and style of waiting and waiting out situations and commandeering and so on. But I believe he has a good heart. The president has a good heart, and his aim is to end this nonsense once and for all. And I'm going to repeat, from all that I'm seeing and hearing, I believe President Granger wants the election mess over and done with. I do not know if he will cave in to the LHT faction that is fighting him. Meaning, if they choose not to accept election defeat, he will go along with them. This whole damn nightmare comes to an end. I repeat, that he will go along with them when this whole damn nightmare comes to an end. So, that is the point there from Freddie. I like to read him. He's wise, he's intellectual, he's articulate, and extremely fair. And so when he explaining something and he don't go with you with a particular group, he's accused of being a satellite or an acolyte of the other group. Same thing with yours truly. When I say I have friends in the PNC and I will sit and eat with members of the PNC, there are some people in the PPP who want to kill me. But they don't understand I'm a professional. And I have friends also in the PPP that I will sit and eat with. But I'm a fair and always professional individual without a political priority. All I want is peace, goodwill, love and harmony, and that this mess indeed must come to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, your brother, Haji Roshan Khan, saying thank you and farewell, friends. So let us live in peace. Let us please work with the police department. Let us please work against the smugglers. Let us please not disaffect ourselves as a people and work as one human family under God. Africans, Indians, Chinese, Portuguese, we all Guyanese. One beautiful love, one beautiful joy, one great country. We can do this. I said this in letters to the media. I say it publicly. And then at certain times I might say certain things vociferously when they go wrong, but I'm always a patriot for all my peoples and my country. Thank you, and saying farewell, friends.